Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you all to TAMU CC, to the Island University. I'm Kate Radowski. I am the Dean of Libraries here on the campus and have the honor and privilege of leading an amazing team of librarians who are at your disposal. And you're going to hear a lot about those services today. And we continue to evolve and grow our services, which I think is one of the most exciting things. And so we are always open and receptive to new ideas. If you have ideas about services from where you came, if you have a need that's not being met and there's any possibility the library can help fulfill that in one capacity or another, we want to make sure and hear from you. We do have a liaison model, so we do have librarians assigned to disciplines. It allows them to get to know that discipline a little bit more intimately. When possible, we align people with backgrounds they have, so they may have an advanced degree in that discipline. We don't have as many librarians as disciplines, so it doesn't always work out perfectly, but allowing them to focus on disciplines allows for greater familiarity with their faculty, with the collection, with the resources. And so you'll hear a little bit about that, as well as our broad spectrum of library services. And so I'm going to stop now and let you hear from the people who really make all this happen. And I believe I start by turning it over to Emily, who is our coordinator of instruction, and also her title is instructional services librarian. And she is also the liaison to the College of Nursing and Health Sciences for any of you new faculty in nursing and health sciences.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kate. So yes, my name is Emily Metcalf, and I'm the Instructional Services Librarian and Liaison to the College of Nursing and Health Sciences. Library instruction can take sort of many different forms at different institutions. So we wanted to give you a little taste of sort of what we do here at TAMU-CC. We usually work with professors to take a session of a course to work with your students on developing information literacy skills. So that includes building good research questions and evaluating sources and searching through library resources, things like that. But what we really love to do is work with you all. We want to develop a lesson plan with you or a learning object, things that are really going to help your students develop their information literacy while also helping them succeed on their assignments. So we're happy to work with you to create or just sort of tweak some assignments to incorporate that information literacy into your course. Or we can teach you about some resources so then you can teach your students when you have time. Will you go to the next slide for me, Alexa? Thanks. So it's going to be a weird kind of a fall. So we've spent this summer ramping up some of our skills the librarians have creating digital learning objects. So you and your students can access things like this asynchronously. The image here is of a digital worksheet created to guide nursing students through accessing and critically engaging with community data. Worksheets like this, course guides, where you can access all of our resources in one place, video tutorials, these are all great ways to get your students the information they need without forcing them to show up at a WebEx or in a class at the same time. Would you go to the next slide for me, Alexa? Thank you. We do have a YouTube page, or channel. A search for Mary and Jeff Bell Library will pull up our channel, and there you can see our various tutorials. We have instructional videos, informational presentations, things we've recorded and made available. Next slide, please. And to get started on collaborating on a tool or designing a virtual synchronous instruction session, there are a few ways to get a hold of us, and they all start at the library's homepage, which is library.tamucc.edu. And then to get to our instruction page, you can go to the Research and Help drop-down menu, where you can click on Instruction and Workshops. And next slide, please. And this takes you to a page outlining our goals and our goals for the library's sort of instruction program and our workshops. And the first link I've marked here is one that will take you to an instruction request form. It'll ask you things like, when would you like to have a class? And would you prefer a specific librarian? That form will come straight to me, and I will distribute that to the most appropriate librarian. Next slide, please, Alexa. The next option to request instruction is if on that page you scroll just a little bit further, You can personally contact your subject librarian. Like Kate said, we all have a specific department or college we work with. So if you know that librarian or if you'd like to get in touch with them directly, you can click on the highlighted link there to see a list of which librarians match up with which disciplines. And one more slide for me, Alexa. Thank you. And finally, the last option here is to just get a hold of me personally. If you don't like my form or if you don't know who your liaison is, that's totally okay. You can contact me directly at emily.metcalf@tamucc.edu, and you and I can work on setting up a session or a tool for your class. We can talk through any questions you might have um, about sessions or tools we're creating. Um, and if you forget all of this, that's okay. You can just get to the tamucc.edu website and search for library instruction, and the screen will pop up as one of your options. So please reach out if you have questions, but until then, I'm going to pass the ball to Lisa Lewis, I believe, is talking about our reference services.
Yeah, thank you, Emily. Hi, everybody. My name's Lisa Lewis. I'm the head of research and learning in Bell Library, and I'm also the liaison to the College of Business. And I think I saw at least one person in here who is new faculty in the College of Business. So good afternoon to you, and I look forward to working with all of you, and especially my business folks, going forward. So I'm going to talk about a few things today, starting off with the Ask Us services, which are part of my department. This is a picture of our Ask Us desk. It's actually a little bit different now because we did add a new wing to that desk, and we have included a separate station for IT help as well. Due to COVID going on right now, that IT help desk is not currently staffed, but we will be having staff at our Ask Us desk beginning next week. We're happy to help you, help your students, help anybody who wants to come into the library. We also, though, do have virtual services, and we recommend those virtual services very strongly during this pandemic time. It's probably the safest option for everyone, and we have a variety of virtual services. So texting us, chatting with us, sending us email, and calling us on the phone are all good ways to get in contact with us if you don't want to come into the library. And all of our contact information is available one click away from the library's website. Next to the hours information that's on the website, there is a click or a place to click there for the Ask Us services, and all of our means of getting into contact with us are listed there. We do also do research consultations, and as has been said a couple of times, we do have a liaison model. When someone has a tough research question that seems to dovetail strongly with one of our academic areas, we like to match that person up with the librarian who is the specialist in their area, specialist in the sources, specialist in research strategies, to work with them. And so we that's our research consultation program, and we are very happy to meet with students, faculty, staff on any kind of research project. Okay, and our hours are listed there, not changed much from the time pre-COVID, so that's nice. We've been able to continue to offer those. Next slide, please, Alexa. Thank you. I'm also going to talk today about course reserves, although it's not strictly speaking part of my department. It is a service that we offer to faculty, and we want to make sure that you're aware that it's available. Often faculty would like to include reading materials in addition to or in lieu of a textbook for their students, and these materials could come from library collections, or they might come from the professor's own collection, and they want to make them available to the widest range of students possible, to the whole class, and so they could put them on reserve in the library. And historically, classically, we do this in both print and online. In COVID times, our ability to provide print reserves is very much restricted. So we are really recommending that faculty instead use online course reserves. And we have, in our circulation department, we have a person who coordinates that course reserves program. So if there are readings you would like your students to engage with during the course of the semester, we recommend that you do this through our course reserve program. program, and just reach out to us and let us know if you'd like any assistance with that. I will say that part of that process is vetting the copyright status of anything that you choose to put online. Because as we know, once something is published, it generally speaking has a copyright placed on it, which limits the types of uses that can be allowed. And it's really much safer to put it onto Blackboard, for example, for your students through our course reserves system. We have a way of doing that. It's very simple and straightforward, easy to use. And it covers all your bases in terms of copyright and keeps you and the university safe from any kind of liability that might arise from using copyrighted material. So just FYI, this service is available to you, and we do a lot of legwork for you to make it happen. We'd love to help you with the course reserves program. All right, next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, so this next slide is just to mention that we do have a variety of collections in the library, including, of course, a print book collection, but also a children's book collection. We have a DVD collection that circulates. We have reference collection downstairs, which is not used as much as it used to be in the age of Wikipedia, but there is still good stuff in there, as well as a lot of e-collections involving reference material that can be accessed through the library's website. We also have periodicals collections. We have special collections, which are going to be discussed later, so I won't go into great detail there, but there are a lot of different library collections. We do collaborate with faculty to add books to our collections, and if there is a title that you would like to ask the library to add, we are happy to work with you. The departments have a faculty liaison who is sort of assigned that role at the beginning of the semester, and then they coordinate requests to the library coming from their department. So one thing you'll want to know is who is your faculty liaison to the library, and then work with them and also with your librarian to acquire new materials. All right, next slide, please. Thank you. We provide access, as you probably would expect, to a lot of databases. We have a lot of the big name ones that you're probably accustomed seeing: EBSCO, ProQuest, Web of Science, and JSTOR. We have approximately 280 databases that we subscribe to currently. Next slide. Okay, thank you. And before I go on to interlibrary loan, let me take one more moment just to say about the databases that if you are accustomed to using a database and you aren't finding it on our library's website, and by the way, there is a button that says databases right under the quick search bar on the library's homepage that takes you to a complete browsable and searchable list of databases. That is certainly a conversation you can have. You shouldn't hesitate to talk to your faculty liaison and also the librarian about this really cool database that you've had good experience with in the past. This may not be the most auspicious year budget-wise for us, but you know, it's always good to know what is good out there in the world and what we might be able to consider adding to our collection. So please don't hesitate to raise that if you do find that we're missing something that you really love. Okay, interlibrary loan is a service I'm imagining most of you are familiar with. You've probably used it quite a bit for various research projects. We do have a very good interlibrary loan program. It is free to faculty and students. Right now, things are a little bit different with that program. Again, because of COVID, many libraries are closed, and so we are not able to do as much interlibrary loan as we were able to in the past. However, if you need something we don't have, please, I would encourage you to put in that interlibrary loan request. And there is a link again on the library homepage for the interlibrary loan service. You might want to go ahead and visit it sometime within the next couple of days and set up your interlibrary loan account. And we'll be glad to facilitate any interlibrary loan requests you might wish to place. Okay, next slide. Thank you. More databases. So these we are sharing with you because they are primary source databases. So if you like to work yourself in primary sources, or if you work with students and with primary source material, historical, political, social, etc., we do have a wide variety of primary source full text online databases. So that's a great area to explore. And when you go to the database list that I mentioned earlier, one of the ways you can explore it is by selecting primary sources, and that will bring up all of the databases that include that kind of material. So I would just recommend checking that out if that sounds intriguing to you. Next slide. And then I believe the last thing I'm talking about today is our streaming video databases. We do offer several different streaming video options. One is called Films on Demand. One is called Canopy. We also offer BBC Shakespeare on the Ambrose platform. These are great databases. They have fantastic content. Many of our faculty love using them. They offer capabilities such as finding clips in full-length videos to be able to take a clip and then use that, create a permanent link to that clip and use that in your Blackboard shell, use it with your class or whatever. So that's just one example of the kind of nifty things that you can do with these fully streaming online videos. There are some that are cinema, there are some that are documentaries, there are some that are educational material. So I would recommend, if you're interested in trying to integrate streaming video into your classes, to visit these databases and explore and see what you can find. And if we'll go on to the next slide, please, just real quick. Oh, I'm sorry, that slide's hidden. We used to have a slide that showed the browsing capabilities and some of the subjects that were covered. So these databases can be searched not just by director, not just by the name of the film, but also by subject area. And that can help you target those materials that might be useful for your classes. Finally, you can search for materials through our quick search, and you can limit your search to films and video. So that's another way to discover what we have available, and not just streaming video, but also our DVD collection, which I believe I mentioned before, circulates. And they can be checked out and taken from the library. All right, I think I've talked enough, so I'll hand it off to the next person. But it was a pleasure to speak with you all.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. My name is Alexa Height. I will be speaking next. I did see a question pop up in the chat. Everything we're showing you today, in terms of like what we have access to, streaming video, databases, journals, these are all available to all Islanders, so all faculty, all staff, and all students. So students do have access to those Canopy videos. They can search and watch them themselves.
Can I jump in just real quick and say, I was actually able to also set up Canopy on my Amazon Fire TV stick at home, so I can watch watch films on demand or Canopy videos on my TV. So that's kind of a fun fact.
So
yeah, so that's kind of fun. Anyway, sorry.
Awesome. Yeah. So streaming for pleasure as well as academic. I'm going to be talking about journals. That's this little button here. We have access to BrowZine for journals, and so you can search by a journal title, a subject, an ISSN, and this way you can keep your own what you like to read for journals kind of organized, because once you find the titles that you like, you can kind of create your own bookshelf. You can log in with your TAMUCC information, because this tells BrowZine that you have access to these journals through TAMUCC. And then you can even set up a shelf on your phone. So it works with iPhone and Android. And so this way you can subscribe to your favorite journals, and then you can get each new issue on your phone directly. So that is something for you as well as for your students. And I will be speaking about ScholComm in a minute, but I'm going to hand it off to Kim first.
All right, thank you, Alexa. My name is Kim Gianfrancisco. I'm an archivist here at TAMUCC, and I'm also the liaison for the history department. And I'm going to talk to you about special collections and archives. So physically, you can find us on the second floor of Bell Library in room 205, which you see here. We are open to researchers at this time, but because of our staffing and to maintain social distancing in the reading room, we are requiring that you make an appointment ahead of time, just so we know that we're prepared to serve you when you do come in. Can I see the next slide, please? Yay. And so virtually, you can find us on the library website under Find Materials and then Special Collections and Archives. Can I get the next slide? So when you get to the Special Collections page, first you'll see this banner with our hours. We're open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. And then underneath that, you're going to find links to search our finding aids, search our print collections, and search our digital items. Can I get the next slide? So this is our finding aids. This page is ugly, and I know, and we're working on it, but it's functional. So you can either use this search box right here. I'm like gesturing at my screen like you can see me, but you can't. Or you can click up here in the top left where it says collections, and that will bring you to the full list of collections that we have, and you can browse it that way. Can I get the next slide? So our print collections are cataloged in the main library catalog, and you can distinguish special collections material because from the library location. If the location starts with special collections, that means that we have it, and that means it's an item that you have to come to the reading room to use. Next slide, please. And our digitized materials are stored in our institutional repository. So again, you can use this search box, or you can scroll down and you can search our collections. You can browse them by collection, or you can use the facets over there on the right side. And our digitized materials are a selection of all of the materials that we have in special collections. Can I get the next slide, please? So as far as the content of the collections, we have about 9,000 linear feet of archives and manuscript materials and over 20,000 books, periodicals, and other printed materials. Most of this is on site in the library, but we do have a few collections in storage in San Antonio as well. And in terms of subject matter, our collection is mainly focused on South Texas and Corpus Christi. And we have particular strength in Mexican American history, environmental history, and land surveying and maps of South Texas. Can I see the next slide, please? So we can't have instruction in the reading room this semester like we normally would. The room is way too small, but we are still available to do virtual instruction on archival research, and we can provide access to digitized materials. If you are looking for something either for your own research or for a class that is not digitized yet, you can get in touch with us and we may be able to provide you with a digital copy, staff time permitting. So if that's something you think you might be interested in, I encourage you to get in touch with us ASAP. And we have also at times partnered with instructors on digital projects. So we have a platform for hosting digital exhibits, which we have used to showcase student work related to local history. And we have also accessioned student work on local history into the collection. So an example here is the South Texas Stories Project, which is an oral history project by Dr. Jen Brown and Dr. Claudia Rueda in the history department. Can I see the next slide, please? Right. So I encourage you, if you might want to do research, use some of our materials in your teaching, or if you just want to know more about what we have, please get in touch with us. This email and phone will connect you with our entire department, and we can get you started. We look forward to working with you. That's all I have.
Thanks, Kim. My name is Alexa Height. I am the scholarly communication librarian, but I often use the shorthand ScholComm. I'm sorry if that was confusing before. I'm also the liaison to the College of Science and Engineering. So scholarly communication is the combined effort to produce, publish, and reuse scholarship and research. Our goal at Bell Library is to continue to support your efforts in this area. We do offer some workshops throughout the semester to help maximize your efforts in exposing your work and increasing its impact. Some of our workshop topics include managing your online research presence, citation management, tools and tips, formatting articles for publication, and finding a publisher for your work. In the past, we've worked with the Center for Faculty Excellence, so you might be hearing from Kelly Smith soon about our fall workshops after Kelly and I get together after all this craziness of new faculty orientation is over. We can also consult on questions about using copyrighted materials in scholarship as well as in the classroom, and questions about retaining rights to your work in order to share and use them freely. We can also consult on open access and open licensing, including open educational resources for creating new and existing creative works. We can also help you with research data management, including where to store and share your research data. Kim mentioned this before. We do have the institutional repository, or the TAMU-CC repository. It is an open platform for sharing the research outputs of the university, as well as hosting our special collections and archives. We can host open access versions of your work so that they can persist online and are available for access to the public. One of our important collections on the TAMU-CC repository is the collection for theses, dissertations, and graduate projects. All of our theses and dissertations that are published by our students are available on the repository, and they are open for public access. Sometimes there is an embargo that a student chooses, but they all end up on the repository freely open in the end. So now I'm going to pass it on to Jennifer Anderson.
Good afternoon. My name is Jennifer, and I am head of the library's User Engagement and Assessment Department. And everybody has introduced themselves with their liaison areas, and mine isn't as easy as the College of. I'm currently enjoying serving as liaison to the English department, Communication and Media Studies, Psychology, Sociology, and Social Work, Public Administration, Political Science, Criminal Justice, and Women and Gender Studies. The College of Liberal Arts is big, so we divide it up. In addition to assisting with all of your scholarly needs, as my colleagues have shared, we also offer engaging and dynamic learning opportunities. Admittedly, this semester things are going to have to change a little bit, but here are a few examples. Alexa, if you can give me the next slide. One of my favorite events is our Outstanding Faculty Speaker Series. Each semester, we collaborate with the Center for Faculty Excellence to honor a faculty member that's highlighted in the speaking series. Our fall candidates are celebrated for their research and scholarly works, and in the spring, we celebrate a faculty member that's doing some amazing things creatively. We truly enjoy having the opportunity to share the amazing things that our faculty are doing with a wider audience on campus. The call for nominations are open really soon. And we're working on being able to continue this series in a virtual format so we can all celebrate our fabulous faculty wherever we are. Alexa, one more. Thank you. In addition to the speaking series, the library also has exhibit areas throughout the building, and we're honestly pretty excited about the art that we get to showcase. We invite works from the Center for Coastal Studies Artist in Residence program. We enjoy offering gallery space to campus organizations, and we love to highlight the works of our faculty, staff, and students. We have a new recycled chandelier in the atrium on the first floor, and there are select pieces from Summer 2's environmental art class going up on the second floor area as we speak. Our cell phone photography show has gone virtual and can be accessed on the library's visit and study page. And there are 146 images, so you should go check it out. Alexa, one more. We're a happy partner in the campus community, and we embrace and engage in the cultural celebrations that take place on the island. Black History Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, we do a meme banned book celebration. We're really excited to get engaged with this. We do this via social media. We provide inspired online guides with library resources that connect with these themes. And we're excited to collaborate with departments across campus. We like to join in the fun. Admittedly, because of COVID, this is going to look a little bit different for us, but we're excited about adapting our event schedule and activities this semester, keeping the fun at a safe and social distance. One more, Alexa. In addition to offering some really cool high impact learning experiences outside of the classroom, the library of course supports the research and teaching missions of the university. Our department helps communicate library resources and services that empowers our campus community to succeed, and it helps you know what not to miss too. Our iCreate lab is actually one of the things that we want to highlight. Upstairs on the second floor, we've got 3D printers, laser engravers, routers, podcasting equipment, embroidery machines, some really cool stuff. We encourage you when you get a chance to make a reservation and head upstairs to the makerspace and see what you can create. We've shared a lot today. Your brains are probably already a little bit full. On the library's webpage, Alexa, one more. There is a website, on the library's website, there's a page that's just for you. Resources for faculty will cover and link to the majority of the ideas that we've shared with you today. We're excited to welcome you to the island. Let us know how we can help. Does anybody have any questions for us?
I have a question.
Yes.
Let me turn on my video. Hi, my name is Rosy Lima, and I am going to be working with translation certificate in the Spanish program. And I was wondering if you have a database of Spanish texts written in Corpus Christi that I could access.
Waiting to see if anybody jumps.
Go
ahead.
I'll take a lead and then I might tag a few people who might know more. So Laura Martinez is the liaison to the foreign language programs, Spanish language programs. So I think she does make an effort, and I'm going to ask her if she's on the call. I forget if she was able to join us today to maybe discuss the exact collection, but that we do collect materials in the Spanish language. If you were looking for stuff very specific and local to Corpus Christi, I would also recommend that you reach out to Kim, who talked about our special collections and archives. We do have multilingual materials. We have materials both Spanish and German, given the ancestry and heritage of the area, in special collections. So there should be some text there as well that might be really interesting for some of your students. It sounds like there could be a super great project in that if you partner with them.
Okay, thank you. For the archives, just to clarify, sorry, it would be Kimberly, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So you can, I just dropped my email in the chat, and I also put the general special collections email. And that's kind of a shared email, so someone will always pick up on that. So either one is fine, and we definitely have a good deal of Spanish language material, and I think hopefully we can find something that's what you're looking for.
That's great. Thank you.
Another option is I'm entering right now in the chat. There's we have research guides for each sort of subject, and one of those subjects is, of course, Spanish. I'm entering that in the chat right now. And you can also, when you search through our resources in our quick search, which is the big box on our homepage, there's a whole bunch of filters on the left-hand side. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a language filter. It doesn't quite answer your question about getting specifically Corpus Christi materials, but it does limit the materials you're viewing in your results to just those that are in Spanish. And that might be helpful as well to you or your students.
Any other questions? I'm just going to say, Emily, thank you so much for posting all the links of what we were talking about as we went along.
Not a problem. Thank you for allowing me to go first, so I didn't have to start on that.
Just a quick question. Do we connect with A&M College Station or other major universities around the country in terms of our online search capabilities?
I'm going to let Kate answer that for us.
Sure. Because of how products are licensed, they are usually licensed for a specific campus that utilizes their authentication system and is based on their FTE. So we do partner with and connect with other universities, but it's not in terms of being able to automatically go to their library and search their database. So we do purchase a few things through an A&M system collaborative where we all pay into the same resource, and we have a handful of resources we get that way. We have a small handful of resources that, because College Station subscribes to them, all the regional schools get them. But that is not true for all of College Station's databases. It's a limited few. We're trying to be more robust in that because obviously there's more buying power in buying as a system versus individual schools. Not every school has the same program, so there are some limitations. And then we also are connected through different consortiums to other universities. So for example, we're part of a network called Amigos. That's more for interlibrary loan. So if the school has it and you need it, you're not going to have instant access. Let's say LSU has it. You won't necessarily have instant access by being able to go to it directly from their library, but you could put the request into us and we could get it from them because they may also be part of the same consortium. So hopefully that helped answer your question a little bit.
Yes, thank you.
I missed it. Was Buttercup on your screen, Kim?
Yeah, Buttercup has been crawling all over my lap for the past few minutes. This is our mid-afternoon cuddle time normally.
Kelly, have you informed the new faculty about our cats on the island? Has that come up yet?
Kelly
Kim's
Miller
cat came from the island.
Kelly Miller did in her presentation. She talked about Cat Alley and the cats and how it is not an okay place to dump unwanted animals. One thing she didn't mention, though, is that sometimes skunks and raccoons also pose as cats. So if you're ever walking through Cat Alley or any other dark area on campus, just tread lightly because we have had some faculty and staff who have been sprayed by skunks. So just be careful on that. And I also, I didn't want to take any time from y'all at the beginning. And so I didn't go through the usual bio and introduction, but I do want to let all of our new faculty know that like our librarian speakers were talking about earlier, the CFE and the library collaborate on a ton of things. And sometimes we are just having random meetings and it's a spur of the moment idea or collaboration. There's a lot of synergy between our departments. I've had the honor and pleasure to work with almost every single one of these speakers on something, and it's a blast. We have a lot of fun. There's a lot of really good energy on our campus if you haven't already picked up on that. And so I hope that any opportunity that you have, even if you need to create an opportunity to work with our wonderful library and librarians, please do so because you will only be better because of it. So thank you all for your time today and for sharing your expertise and energy with us today.
Well, thank you for that, Kelly. I will echo that. You all made a wonderful choice to come to the Island University. I just had my 6th-year anniversary here. And I wake up every day smiling, and every day I get to work with amazing people. And so truly welcome. And we really hope to get to work with you, one-on-one and on some really great projects going forward.